Okay, welcome back, shiny internet strangers. From what I can gather, the thing I was doing wrong. As you see, we're in the same spot. Everything's caught up. Yada yada. So one, let's get the horse that was like, "Hey, you whistled for me," because I was just pushing buttons. Let's get Joe Bob out of the way, right? And we will not whistle him this time. Bring him, you know what, let's bring him up here. Park him here. That's a thing. Still stable. Pony. I have room for more, right? Yeah. And I can handle more horses? No. Okay, now I have a slot for another horse. So now, let's go get that other random. But kind of think I want to build a trap. That'd be nice. But I mean, let's try it with this. Let's see if we can get that horse here. This is going to be a potentially frustrating thing. And it could not work. But that horse is close-ish. So, I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll find out, right? See if I can not screw this up. So, the answer to can I not screw this up is no. As I've already screwed this up. But at least it's away from the yellow turban, so we'll wait for it to calm down. We're in a super dense part of the jungle, right? Like, I'm just going to make some mistakes here, I think. It's the way it is. Come on, Joe Bob. I know you want to calm down. You go for that. Subduing, and I think you're facing away, so let's run up. Climb on you. Watch, now my reins are going to be too low because you'll somehow be a good horse. Please don't let that be the case. Alright, I'll ride you up to the thing. Not into the yellow turbans. Come on. Gotta go up here, buddy. Up here, up here. Come on. You are fighting hard. Not cool, dude. Come on. Come on. Come on. Gotta get closer, buddy. We've got a shot. All right, and now I take you in here. Come on, come on, come on. There. And now you're in here. Now, in theory, my tame skill will go to 123. and that's what we're waiting to see. It's not going to be a fast thing, but that one should be going. Now I need to grab a minion. Whew, that was a pain. And I have food. One, how are you? Well, no, I don't want you. Mine, what's your skills? 11. Plant. 8. Tiller. 10. 9. 9. 15 for P5. So far P5 is winning. 27. P4 is winning. P4 is winning. Come on. Oh, I don't have you on follow, do I? Let's go P4. And now it went to 123. Let's see a 124 so I can watch it go up. Oh, I can just look at my thing, can't I? Yep. And my skill, without me being here, is now going up. Slowly, but going up. That's going up a little faster. There we go. All right, so that's a way to get your tame skill up. Open let me. Ah, no worries at all. Just getting you to introduced. Not thinking any server set up will be accomplished. Da 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 da. Let me in chat with them. Are you there, Mr. Sun?
Well, I am.
Wonderful. In theory, Katana will be joining us momentarily. She's a Brit, so it'll just be before she goes to bed. I just want to get you two introduced. But
Sure.
she's the lead admin for this community. So I figured that was a good human for you to meet.
Yep. And it shouldn't take long. Once I explain to her what's going on, she'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah. And this is Katana. Katana, this is Sunwolf. He's a delightful human. Sunwolf, this is Katana. She's a delightful human. Neither of you two suck. I have spoke to both of you. You are both genuinely good humans.
That's a very nice thing of you to say.
Hi,
How are you doing?
Katana. I'm doing
Hello?
great. I'm doing
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad you jumped over. Yeah, we're one big happy family here. One big happy dysfunctional family, you know where we all are.
Well,
yeah.
anybody who plays as many games as we do, you're not going to be quite normal.
Exactly. So you run your own server, do you?
I do. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. What games do you run?
Right now, I'm running a Art Cluster and Myth of Empires for Fides.
Ah, right. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I the whole myth thing. Fish is the one that sort of set it up. I don't really deal with myth side of things much. Beyond sort of like updating it, but then obviously there's been something going on with it, I guess. I don't know. It hasn't been updating, and they were talking about VPNs today and stuff like that. And I know
it's really simple. The United States charged the Myth of Empires company, which is a Chinese company, with stealing code. And so what they've done is they've taken the US DNS servers and they've made it so that you cannot connect to the update server using the www, etc.
Oh, okay, right.
Now, you can still connect using the IP address, like the direct IP address. However, because people have difficulties using IP addresses, what you can do, if anybody who is in the States, if they have a VPN, all they have to do is connect to Canada or someplace else beside the States, and then everything works as normal.
Oh, so they literally blocked it in one place.
Right, it's the only thing they can do, right? At the end of www.google.com, there's an invisible dot at the end. Nobody can see it, but it's there. That dot says go to the root servers. Those root servers are what we call root DNS servers. And in those servers, they say, if you're looking for, instance, google.com, here's the number. Without that translation, you just need the number. So if you have the number to the Myth servers, you can supply that to your users and they can use just that number to attach to the server. Or if they have a VPN and they VPN into Canada, Canada's root servers will provide the actual translation for them.
Okay.
Right? It's pretty simple stuff.
I mean, so what Fish basically was saying earlier on was he mentioned about copying the file. Because funny enough, Fish is living in China right now. But he doesn't connect through Steam because he bought Myth initially, like when. So you know, like when Myth first came out, you could buy it just on the website. You didn't have to like connect. So me and Alaska connect through Steam. He doesn't. However,
you cannot connect through Steam anymore.
No, I know. Yeah, we tried the other day. Yeah, no, I know that. But like, so what he was saying was he could copy his files over or something.
That's right.
So basically, he said the next option would be to copy the files, install it on my laptop, then copy the installation files to the Deddy.
Yes, and if he created, like, let's say he created it as this is just another method. if one person, say you've got one person in Canada, for instance, just simply updates their Myth of Empires. Now, for instance, I have mine updated. I can zip that, and I can send it to anybody. I can put it on. You can, if let's say I put it on Discord here.
That's how
I
he
would
did
keep
it for
those.
me, for example. Like, I couldn't get it because I'm in the States. Son went and got it for me.
Yeah, so I can put it on my server, create a link for you through Discord. You can then copy the zip file down and unzip it on your local machine in the appropriate directory, and you'll be just fine. You can connect wherever you want.
So the problem I'm having is because it's hosted on an American server, because I'm not American. So like,
Right.
I should be able to update it on my computer and run it
Yes.
because I'm English.
Yes.
So technically I could, but then again, I'm running it through Steam. So
You can't run it through Steam. Steam is a US company.
no, but that's what I mean. That's how I ran it before. So I don't know. So how do I run it not through Steam? I don't know how to run it the other way around, because I never did that. When I played Myth, it was before all of this shitstorm. So
yeah. So you, first off, you don't run Steam. But what Steam has done is it has created a directory for you under Steam Common, etc. I can give you the link if you want. And in there is the program. Okay. What is broken is because Steam is a US company, they've removed the links from Steam to that program. But the program and all its updates wasn't run by Steam. It was actually run by Myth of Empires, as they all are. Steam doesn't write new software to update, for instance, 7 Days to Die.
So this would be somewhere in like Engine or.
Well, here, let me just give you the link. You simply go to wherever you have your Steam. That's why the problem is, because, for instance, you're going to go to Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, and then there's going to be a directory that says Myth of Empires in.
I'm in that in my folder.
If you go in there, if you go into that folder, there will be a launcher.
Would that be in the main folder? Launcher user config.
Yeah, there will be a Myth launcher in there. I don't know where it is because I don't play Steam, and I never played it on Steam itself. I don't play Myth of Empires, and I never had it on Steam.
I played it for a little bit, but it's I mean it's all right, but it's not really my kind of game. I mean it's like I didn't dislike it. I don't really have that much interest in it.
Son pretty much hates it. He just runs it for me because I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but it's not my game, right? I tried it.
Okay, so I found the MOE launcher.
Right. So that MOE launcher, you can take that whole directory and move it someplace else. If you run the MOE launcher right from there, it'll work fine.
So if I basically copy
that directory,
new file detected,
the whole directory, right? The whole
directory. I thought I deleted this, you know.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean I just thought I deleted it, like because I'd stopped playing. So. But here it is.
So now that you have the Myth of Empires launcher, you can simply put that in any directory you want on your hard drive and run the launcher. And because you're not in the States, it'll run as normal and download the program.
Because that is updating. Okay.
It's almost like we're not lying.
So. So. Why wasn't it? See, this is so now I've got the disconnect because I don't know how Fisher set it up on there. Like when I click MOE launcher on the Deddy, it doesn't update because of that. So if I copy all my files over to that, I'm going to have exactly the same problem, aren't I?
Well, your guys' server is offline.
Yeah. So because it's not updated, that's why it's offline. So if I copy all these files over to our Deddy, I'm just going to have exactly the same problem because I'm going to try. Well, I mean, I suppose I could copy up because Myth of Empires updates like every 5 minutes, so I'm gonna have to.
Yes
That's a
and
pain in the
no.
ass.
It
However,
seems like it's been a lot slower since the
yeah,
lawsuit was kind of settled.
yeah. Whoever's running the server should have a VPN. Just in
Yeah,
general,
we
they
no,
should.
we do.
So if they
I
have the VPN, then all they have to do is update the server using the VPN. Have it connect to Canada or someplace like that, or to England or whatever you want. Update it, and then you'll be able to
so
connect, no problem. Have I broken your brain?
No, I'm just reading what Fish is saying.
Because we know it's soon for bed for you, so sorry.
Yeah, we don't want to push you too hard.
There's always tomorrow. He and I are both retired.
Yeah, because Fish was talking about. I'm trying to find the message. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know where he's wrote it. He was writing to Alaska earlier on about it. I don't think Fish was happy about the idea of connecting a VPN on the Daddy, but I don't know why. He didn't really kind of tell me why.
It doesn't matter.
Oh no, hang on a minute, because I think it was something to do with doing that. Whatever he was saying was going to happen. It was going to basically mean that all of our games have to shut down while we do it, because obviously we're changing VPN.
No, okay. First off, you don't need to run it on what you call the Daddy, right? Like for instance, when I set this up for FIDES, I have multiple computers in front of me. My server is off to one side and it's servicing a bunch of programs. I actually downloaded Myth of Empires onto my local machine using a VPN. And that VPN does not affect in any way, shape, or form the server. The VPN is to my local machine only. It creates a tunnel.
But the VPN had to be on the server though.
It does
we
not.
We have a VPN to the server already, but it's obviously set to America. But the VPN isn't at like my house or Alaska's. It's hosted by a company.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to run that VPN on the server. You can run it on a different machine, update the program, and simply copy it to the server.
Okay, so there's no reason why. Well, Fish already has to use a VPN anyway because he's in China.
Yeah.
So technically, he should just be able to copy his files.
And then like
right,
email
because he's
them
already
to you or whatever to the dedicated server. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I could literally, I have these files here, but what I meant is that just like, I don't know, copying the entirety. I mean, is it how many files do I have to copy over if it's just an update? Do I have to copy the entire folder every single time? Because that's going to take.
No, because the server only requires 2 directories, and they're not very big. The 2 directories that you need are the private server tool directory and the Windows private server directory. And they're not large at all. They're fairly small because there's no graphic files in there or anything. These are
the other thing I was going to say is, how are people in America going to update it on their computer?
Well, as I said, there's a couple of ways you can do it. The first one is first off, everybody should have a VPN. But let's say somebody doesn't.
Yeah, they're not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? Like, I don't get why people don't have VPNs, but let's just put that aside. Let's say they don't. You can take the files that you've just downloaded, you can zip them into a relatively small package. You can place them wherever you want in the world and just have somebody download it.
Okay, so basically when I update it, I have to update it on my computer, copy it to the server.
Sure.
And then unpack it, because obviously I'll copy it in a zip file, unpack it, it then will be updated, and then I've got to put that file up. Yeah. It seems like a bit of a pain in the ass, doesn't it?
Well, and again, it's once you understand how the root servers work.
No, I mean, I get how I get about the file and all that. Like, I do understand
Good.
it. It's just I don't know. Like, I'll see how Fish feels like doing this, because for me, I have a big long list of games that I already have to deal with. And like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that people might want to play it, but it depends. Like, how many updates has it had? Like, in the last, I don't know, like
One.
how
in the last month there's been one.
In the last month. Okay, that's not too bad then, because like from what I was remembering before of how often this game needed babying, compared to say Conan can have like a period of time where I've got to update it a whole bunch, but generally it's around when Funcom release an update, then I've got to basically go in and mess around with it. Arc pretty much deals with itself. I don't really have to mess around with Arc, so that's fantastic. Brom's doing 7 Days to Die, so I don't have to deal with that. And then we've recently closed down.
It can also just connect to my server.
Yeah, because that's it. Because like, I don't know how many people in the community want to play Myth Vampire right now.
If anybody does, right? I'm going to keep this up until Fides is done with it, and I'm going to shut it down. Like, he and one other person are the only ones playing it, and I do it for him. But so once Fides says I'm done, I'm tired of doing it, I'm just going to take it down, because it is not popular at all.
No, we had like a period of time where we had, I don't know, quite a lot of people actually. We had 2 super groups, if you want to call them that, with like 7 or 8 people in each, and then we had a bunch of solo players. So I think at the peak when we had people playing it, we probably had somewhere in the region of about 20. And then people stopped, and then it sat empty for months, 2 months maybe, and then we were like, oh right, it's not actually updating anymore because of obviously this situation, because no one had mentioned it. We just sort of were like, okay. I'll do a bit of a poll, because I mean, like, if people want to play it, fair enough. I'll do this.
Sure. Or as I said, they can always come to my server.
Yeah, I'll see what Alaska wants to do.
If it's only a couple people, just have them, like, Fides is in your group. Just talk to Fides. He'll give you the information. And I have a zero bullshit policy. If Fides tells me somebody's playing silly boogers, I'm going to squash them. I'll put them on the whitelist. Yeah, but other than that, as long as they're good people, then they can be on anytime they want. And I cycle through games a lot. Like, I can run a lot of games at one time, but I usually don't. We play a lot of 7 Days to Die. We have Arc up a lot of times. We haven't played Conan since they brought out the 3.0 update, because nobody's interested in that.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Anyways, without getting into that, I mean, I'm happy to, if you guys want to run a different server, happy to run one on mine. It doesn't take much. I'm down here pretty much every day anyway, so it takes me 2 seconds to look after it.
Okay. I mean, interesting. Well, Myth is now updated. Right. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let Alaska know. I mean, Fish may want to speak to you about it. I don't know if he wants to kind of go through it all with you, because he's the one that sort of set it up. He knows more. He actually worked in IT. I haven't worked in IT for a long time, so I'm a bit rusty with all this stuff. But he definitely, you may want to. I'll send him an email, but he, like I said, he's China, so he's on. I mean, for me, I don't know what time he would be around for you, but like for me, for example, I wake up and he's coming home from work, so it's kind of, I'll sit working, and then sometimes jump in chat and talk to him while he's like in his afternoon, or like
he's going to be almost exactly opposite to me.
Yeah,
but I get up usually really early in the morning. I just go to bed really early, so
yeah, no, that's fair.
But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, it's just a game, right? And
exactly, yeah. And I don't, like, no one's mentioned it for such a long time that like it just wasn't even a game we were thinking about. Like we've had like an Atlas server previously, and we've closed that, and I just kind of like, in my head I'd regulated Myth as a sort of game that we put to the side, I suppose. So
yeah, and from my opinion, that's where it should be. But if there are people who want to play, there's one available here, which they're welcome to. If anybody needs to know how to set it up, I'm happy to help them. either by email or on Discord.
And that
we ran like a.
That's why
Go
I
on, sorry.
told Alaska that Sun was running a server, because I'm aware how completely unpopular the game is. My guess is there's only going to be one or two other people like me. So it just isn't worth you guys spinning up another server if it's going to be, hey, in the whole Alaska community, two other, okay, yeah, they can just join me and Chris, and the four of us can play. There's 0 point in running 2 servers for 4 humans, you know? That's
For
just
4
silly.
people, yeah. No, I absolutely agree with that.
Because it is an unpopular game, and I know that, but there's things I never got to do. I was in my I'm a responsible adult. I'm not really, but I was pretending that I was, and so I didn't buy it when it came out. So I missed the rush. So I didn't play it. So I'm really trying to do all this shiny that I never did. And Sun's
That's fair.
computer doesn't care if he runs a server, and he's a nice guy. So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll run a server while you get it out of your system. So here I am.
Yeah. Well, no, that's. I mean, I enjoyed it when I played it. The server was pretty much vanilla.
Yeah. And mine is pretty much too.
Yeah, we sort of like. Fish was very like fish very much went through every single setting, and we debated and argued for a while over like 0.0 something on horses, for God's sake. Like I was just like, I wanted it whatever point something, and he was like arguing over 1 point with me. So I just was like, you know what, I don't care anymore. Just put whatever you want on the game. I'm not dealing with myth. So I don't know, it's not soured, but it just frustrated me because me and Fish are quite different admins. So I was like, you know what, Myth's your baby. You do what you want with it, and I'll play on it. But I think when the bigger groups sort of went off, like I don't know, it's definitely one of them games that kind of thrives from having like a big group. So it's quite sad, you know, when you've only got like a few people on, isn't it? Really, it can be quite hard for a solo player. I know that.
Well,
so.
I did tune some things. I'm not 12, so I believe that you should earn things to appreciate them. So things like XP and resources and that are vanilla. However, I'm also not looking for a second job, and there aren't 1,000 of me, and I want to be able to do the whole game and not need 97 people. So I did go in and do a bunch of math and divide by the number of people a realistic group would have, etc., and figure out, like I had Sun, all right, like we ran a whole server and then I had him reset me. And then I played it again and I made it to like 30 or 40 and I had him reset me. And I did that like 30 something times because I needed to see how it went and test the settings and see how that actually played and how it actually felt. And like some of them, they were insane. No, okay, that's a terrible setting. That can't be turned up. And then some we found, regardless of what it says it does, well, here's how it actually affects it. And oh, by the way, these two are linked, even though at no point does it list that. So some stuff we do have tuned, some stuff we have altered. Like when you start a new character, you get 138 engram points because I wanted to be able to learn everything by myself. The player to NPC damage is vanilla, but the player to animal damage is turned up. Now, by the same token, the animal damage to you is also up because if one goes up, the other is a direct correlation and you can't alter the rate of correlation. So if you take your time and you're very careful and you get a headshot and you're fighting something at the appropriate level, you can one-shot an animal, much like in real life. If I'm out with a bow and I shoot it, it'll go down. But if you get gored by a boar, they're going to trample you and kill you. Again, much like real life. So be careful, be smart, take your time. And so far it's been really fun. I turned durability off because I didn't feel like I have to make literally 30 swords for one trip. Are you kidding me? That's not realistic at all in any military ever. Do weapons break? Yeah, sure. You don't break 30 in a single fight with one guy.
We changed our durability to, I think it was like 0.7 instead of 1. So we did change it down a bit. But yeah, we still like, you know, like basically if you've got your guy that you like, I don't know. I would say we probably had to take about 3 swords with us if we were like clearing out a big camp, like 3 or 4 swords, and then it was like.
I also
But yeah,
changed the horse quality. It always bothered me that in PvP you could get a perfect heavenly horse, but in PvE you couldn't. So I just set them both to equivalent.
you see, yeah, that's what Fish argued with me. We argued about that.
See,
We actually
don't.
did vote.
I just made them the same.
Yeah, we did votes as a community basically, and sort of like went through each one, and people voted, and I feel like the votes were heavily. I mean, obviously they were going to be heavily skewed towards like the bigger groups because the bigger groups didn't mind it was a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Which
is why I didn't do a vote, and I did it based on there's only me playing, and I went and tested it, and I felt I was a pretty good judge. But that's why I told people, because I streamed this, and I told them, I was like, I tuned this whole server based on a single player experience, because if a group of 100 hops on, well, you can't tune anything for 100. They don't care. They're an inaccurate assessment of good, bad, fair, terrible, fun, not fun. It's not a good judge of it. You have to tune a multiplayer game for the single player. They are the only fair metric, because if you have any single player group, what do you not count singles in your community? Well, we have to. So we have to tune games for them. If you're playing in a group and you complain that it's too easy, well, that's on you. You chose to work in a large group. Guess what? You could have played solo too. That was a personal choice you made. I don't have to feel bad that you played in a group and I play solo.
True.
And that's what I
we
told
sort
my
of did
stream.
it of a personal thing.
Well, exactly. And I'm not saying any idea is better or worse than another. That's how I explained it to my stream, and that's the way, I do it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely caused some issues because one of the bigger groups ended up leaving because they said it'd been taken away too much from vanilla, and so they didn't want too much changing, and so some of the things we changed were too much for them, and they went and played on a completely vanilla server.
Yeah, you can never make everybody happy.
You can't. That's
definitely a thing.
I've definitely learned that.
And I don't try. And that's why, like, when I set mine up, I figured, some folks might stumble across the stream and might see it. So I said, hey, the server it's not public, it has a password, but if anybody wants to join, all you have to do, put a little comment, and I'm gonna send you to my buddy's son, and he's gonna interview you. And if you pass him, you can join. And that's all it is, because that's son is my metric, my touchstone for reality, for humans. And if people are okay with him and he's okay with them, sweet, they'll work. Because nobody's son is ever approved of. Have I ever been, oh my God, son, I hate that person, just kill them. Like, it's never been a thing. If he's okay with them, I've always been cool with him.
Yeah, I'd say the community's been pretty good. We've not had too much drama, to be honest. I think it kind of comes from being Alaska sort of brings in an older crowd. It's not.
Thank God.
It's not like there's a ton of young people. Yeah, but yeah, it's not like there's a ton of like we do have one person on here that's pretty young. He's only like 17, and he was actually brought in by somebody else who is only 22, which we didn't realize as well. But yeah, so that's Carthen. Carthen acts like he's about 40 though, so it's fine. But yeah, Carthen brought his friend in, and we didn't realize at first that he was only 16 at the time. But he's a nice kid. Like I've had a couple of conversations with him. He's not an awful kid at all. It's more just like he's I don't know. I think he's just still looking for his place. Yeah.
Which happens.
He's not malicious at all. He's a very sweet kid. He's just a little hyperactive sometimes. Yeah. But that's what the kids are like at that age. So it's what it is. But
I vaguely recall being that age.
No, I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go back to 16 for anything.
No, me neither.
But yeah, no, he's a good kid. But yeah, I think Alaska tends to sort of bring it. He's not a streamer that's sort of like loud and noisy and I can't even think of a streamer that's like a streamer that I sometimes watch, but he's just so loud and clearly for kids. Like, have you ever seen Mr. Miola? Like, he does ARC videos.
No.
He's just like shouts and loud and like it's just all in your face, and like it works for him and it's great. But like you can tell he's doing this for a younger crowd, I guess. And Alaska's just very calm and very Bob Ross-esque, you know. So it's nice and relaxing.
I found something else out about Alaska yesterday because we were chatting, and I found Alaska is also another veteran, and he also made it to retirement. So he and I both share the blue ID card of awesome, and I was like, oh hell yeah! So that was super cool because there aren't a lot of it. Like a lot of people have served, not very many of us make it to retirement. So I was like, holy hell, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, he. I think that's the entire reason he went to Alaska, actually, because he was stationed there. So, and then he met his wife and decided to stay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I do know where he's from. He has told me, but it's gone out of my head.
Oh, no worries. We all.
Yeah,
the military migrates us. Like I live nowhere where I'm from, so.
Yeah, I can imagine they move around quite a bit, but yeah, retired, and I think there's a couple of other people actually in the Discord that there's definitely one or two that have sort of mentioned they have sort of military background. I'm not sure what vein of military it is in America, but yeah, definitely one or two. And police officer and stuff like that as well.
We generally tend to migrate towards each other. Just we always feel more comfortable with our own.
Yeah, it's good. Well, okay, so at least now I know what to do with Myth.
Yeah. Well, and if nothing else, you met another shiny, wonderful human. You know,
Well, no, you're welcome to jump in chat. Like, I mean, you probably see them down there, in Kelly and Rogue. They're always in chat. Like they're always in chat, and they're playing different games. I'm pretty sure. Chinese is usually.
I was chatting with them earlier. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're good lads. I think Kelly and Rogue are playing Icarus at the moment. I'm not sure about Snuff. And Chinnis is usually working
when I was chatting with him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Chinnis is usually working, so he's usually like driving in his he drives for a living, so he's like normally sort of jumps in and out of chat while he's on call and stuff. But yeah, obviously just jump in chat whenever whenever you see someone on, because
I appreciate the invite, but in general,
yeah. You've got your own. You've got your own.
Well,
so yeah,
not only have my own, but I'm usually pretty busy during the day. If I'm not studying, I'm building stuff in the shop. So I don't. I visit with Fides as much just because it's a sound of another voice. He doesn't talk to me. He's doing his streaming thing, so it's kind of like a background noise.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, yeah, even when I'm not streaming, I just talk to my internal monologue is external. And I forget that Sun's in the chat. And so I seriously, I'll start talking, and then Sun will be like, hi, Fides. I'm like, what? Oh, where? Wait, how long have you been here? He's like, oh, 4 or 5 hours. I was like, what? Where? He's like, I said hi when I joined. I was like, oh, I believe you. Sorry. He's like, nope, it's fine. You've just been going on about. I was like, oh, God, you heard all. He's like, yep, I did. I was like, oh,
you didn't realize.
Yeah, and I do it all the damn time.
Well, the other morning I logged on and Fish was in admin chat, and I was just like, why is he in admin chat right now? Because like we'd not said, like we'd not coordinated anything. And I jumped to the chat and I'm like, hi. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you scared the hell out of me. And I was like, why? What's wrong? And he's like, I didn't even know I was in chat. Like, he didn't even know he joined. He just like turned Discord on and it just immediately joined him. And then he was just sat there in admin chat for like hours, apparently. So, yeah. Easy to do.
Some humans, you're doing something, you just space out and you're like, wait, what? Huh? Oh, I was on autopilot. My bad. I had no idea. Whoops.
Yep. Yeah, I often see. I think it's a guy called Crusading Priest, and he often ends up in AFK. So it's like when you've sort of been in the channel for so long, you get chucked down to AFK, and I think he just sits there in like he just doesn't even realize it's on. So he's like opened his Discord, going about his day, and he's just sat there in group 1 or whatever, just chilling out, not even realizing he's in there. So easy enough to do. I'm too paranoid. I'm like, right, close everything down. Yeah. Oh, but anyway,
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, no, it's nearly 11 for me, and up early tomorrow for work. So yeah. But I'll let the guys know. I'll tell them, to be honest, that it seems like it's just a bit of a pain to update. Even though you said that they're not updating much, if they go to like once a week updates, having to copy an entire folder over, it's it's not the end of the world. It's not really just VPNing in and restarting a server. It's a lot more. And then I write guides on how to join servers. Like we have like an ARC how to join where it's like literally has pictures and screenshots, and people still don't know how to do it. So I don't mean to be kind of funny with it, but I don't think people are going to understand how to VPN, or I don't know, people just get a bit.
No, I take over people's computers all the time and do it for them.
Yeah.
It's just so much faster. I just go say, here, let's just use this program, download it. I usually use TeamViewer because then you have to give me a password every time. And I just jump on, you can watch what I'm doing, and I join you up, and then I leave.
Yeah. I feel like for sure I'll end up having to explain every single time how to do it to people. So yeah. I will recommend to Alaska that we, if anybody does actually want to play, that I'll just send them your way.
Sure. And the thing is too is that to make your life easier, you can just write a script and post the script and have it do it for them. I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you're into that kind of thing, but I've done that lots. But for small things like this, it doesn't make any sense to write a script because it's, I bounce on, I fix some things, and I get off. And a lot of times, like one girl that's with us, her computer's a mess. So, I have to go and figure things out because she doesn't know what she's got.
Yeah.
So writing a script for her would be really tough because she's going to put the script in the wrong spot and it's going to not do the right things. And,
I'd say the majority, I'd say the majority of the people that would probably want to play would be able to understand that. I mean, Valheim, for example, it's not straightforward. Anyone that's wanted to play Valheim has had to unzip files. Like we have zip files in the Valheim area, for people with basically the mod pack, so people don't have to mess around with it. So we do have that. I'll ask Alaska, because the thing is, I don't know if Alaska. I mean, he's mentioned it more recently, and I'm like, do you want to start streaming it again? Is that the point? Like if he wants to start streaming it again, then obviously we're gonna
figure it out.
I'll see what he actually wants to do and just explain to him.
Just treat me as a resource. Get to me through fights. He's on your list, so you can contact him. He can contact me.
Yeah.
Because if he's awake, I'm usually awake. And then if there is some things that we can do together that makes both communities better, then let's do it. And then I'll actually create a link to your server and monitor it. But for now, I'm not going to come on for, unless there's something we're doing together, it doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all. I think it was more just the fact that, I had no idea. Honestly, I've not looked up at anything about Myth, so I knew there was a lawsuit going on because of ARC, wasn't it? And the developers. So I was aware of the whole lawsuit going on. Didn't realize there was some, a conclusion to it because, I've just not looked Myth up. It's not something that's been in my sort of sphere of interest. But interesting to sort of know that's why, basically, that it is actually blocked. And kind of funny that Fish is now in China and it should be working perfectly for him.
Well, it will work perfectly for him, but he's not going to connect to the server because the server's going to be out of version, right? But it's easy enough to fix because if he's already,
he can just basically
he's going to have is that he's running a VPN. if he switches the VPN to any place else just to even do the update, he's going to disconnect everybody,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, because he normally connects to. So he doesn't. Yeah, he normally connects to
Taiwan or
Japan
Singapore, I'm guessing. Japan, yeah.
or Japan or England. Like the other day, he connected to England, basically, just because it was a better, connection talking to me. Because we were doing some stuff on Arc Supreme the other day, and we were having so many problems. And in the end, I just basically VPN'd in, and he was watching my stream instead. And I was like, because normally it's like he just does it. And I was just like, I'll do it instead, because it was just the connection was so bad. It was like every 5 minutes he's having to disconnect. Shut down Discord, reopen it back up. It was just like, yeah.
China really has. They've got a good connection, but they have so many users that nobody in China gets a good connection. There's just too many users using it.
Yeah, it's like being in India. When you
Yep,
have a
India's
billion users, there's a problem.
Yeah, too many.
Well, considering they only have the one fiber optic link into each country, when you look at the fiber optic map and you realize that the US has 3 links to it, Canada has 2. I mean, for 30 million people,
for the
we've
8
got
people
2.
that live there, yeah, They're like,
know.
we're good. Go Canada. Again, that's why you were in my top 3 retirement countries.
Oh, yeah. So same thing with Australia. Australia has 1 link.
Yeah,
for the whole country.
Poor Rogue has the worst internet I've ever seen in my life. Like his internet is so abysmal. Like I thought mine was bad, but his is so bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah, Australia really gets the raw end of the stick. The link that was run to them, it gets routed too far. That's the problem, and it's horrid. Like, because Australia actually shares there with a lot of Asia.
Yeah.
So it has to go through Asia and then across the ocean, across to. Actually, it goes across to Britain ultimately, through Britain and then across the North Atlantic. So he's already lost a lot of connectivity before he even gets to England. So yeah, it's horrible. Like I have no idea how these countries aren't just laying new lines.
I mean, I suppose Australia decided to spend the money on something else, didn't they? They didn't really go that route for some reason, which is.
My brother lives in Australia, and if they spent it on something else, they didn't spend it well.
No, it's going to be on something stupid, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, well, like a retirement home for one of their politicians or something.
Governments are always silly. Like I lived in Tennessee, and I had amazing fiber optic because one guy went down to the courthouse. Asked for it, they put it on the ballot, and then everybody forgot. So 6 months later, nobody voted against it. So literally, one person went down, got it on, nobody thought to vote against it, and we had phenomenal fiber optic in the middle of Tennessee for no reason whatsoever. And I was like, wait,
that's actually kind
what?
of hilarious.
Do you know why? And so I got fiber optic internet, and it cost me $10 a month through the phone company or through the electric company. And I was like, are you kidding? I will take 7 lines. Thank you. And they're like, sure. Because, and again, they didn't advertise. Nobody knew it existed because, again, a guy just went down to the courthouse and said, I'd like to put something on the back. They're like, sure, what do you want? I want to get fiber optic for the city. Okay. It's now billed, blah, blah, blah.
That's
and then
hilarious.
It was never mentioned. And so, ta-da! Fiber optic. I was like, are you kidding me? This is how government works? This is amazing.
Well, it does demonstrate how inexpensive it is to get good fiber optic, even out in the middle of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again,
if it had been expensive, they would have never done it. They would have never done it if it was expensive.
Yeah. So
Alaska's got pretty amazing internet as well.
Yeah, and he's on copper.
Supplies it.
Yeah.
See, Canada supplies it, and we've got 2 lines to the west of Canada, and there's almost nobody here. And 1 line to eastern Canada that goes down to New York. So that one's bad, but ours is awesome.
Yeah.
I get 1 gigabit up and down. Like, I don't know any place else in the world that has that.
No, that is pretty good. That is really good.
Well,
I
that's why I
mean,
can run a server and it's like you're beside it as long as, you have decent internet. Because, I mean,
yeah,
I sometimes have a fair number of people on here. I mean, not as many as you guys do because we're small. It's mostly my family and a couple very close friends. But yeah, it's as good as if you had it in your house.
Yeah,
If
I've
you're
never
you
had
know,
an
anywhere.
issue.
No.
yeah, this also kind of started up sort of just a couple of people. It was Alaska playing on his own on just a single player, I think it was, and then somebody was like, "Oh, do you have a server?" Next minute, yep. Next minute, there's like tons of people, and it become a lot bigger.
Because there aren't a lot of communities for, non-12-year-olds.
That is true. That is
And
true.
and Alaska said he's been, kind of like Sun with the very careful paying attention and you're bad out and staying on top of it and just carefully curating and no bad apples and ta-da, that's a decent sized community because that's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, we've not had a lot of problems, to be honest, which is kind of nice. Like,
That's just on you though. Like administrators make all the difference. Like all it
yeah,
takes is you or whoever else is administrating to let one bad apple in. I've seen it happen so much. That's why I have zero tolerance. I give them one warning, and if they don't shape up right away, they're gone. They're blacklisted from everything. I blacklist them right at my router.
Because yeah, they will screw up and destroy everything. Can't give
Yeah,
them an
because
inch.
they're going to piss one person off. That person's going to carry that resentment with them. That person, even though they're a nice person, it's going to, without wanting to, piss somebody else off, and before long, the whole server is just a mess. So no, I've done this for a long, long time. Right from back in the days of the BBS systems with modems, I've had servers, and no, zero tolerance. I let a couple guys go once when we were doing World of Warcraft, and I had to once I finally got rid of them, I apologized to everybody because it was my fault. I'm running the system, and what I shouldn't have let them stay. As soon as
yeah.
they were gone, it worked great. Sorry.
I think I've had one person who just got really aggressive with people in game.
Yep.
For just
Get rid of them.
for nothing, for absolutely nothing, for stuff that's like, it's just pixels. Why do you care? It was basically like he was blaming this guy for, he basically saw somebody fighting a boss, got involved without asking, and then was then really angry that one of his stores got killed. And it's like, well, you decided to jump in there. You didn't ask the person. They didn't want you there. So, and then was just swearing. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. And then I sort of like blocked him, and then he joined back, and I was like, you know what, you're just getting a complete block. So I went in and whitelisted him, and then yes, he was
your
gone.
complete block passes on too. Everybody else knows.
Yeah,
Yeah, you mess around, they'll just kick you.
exactly.
Then they don't
And
do
then
it.
there was another one where I think I gave him a bit longer than I should have done.
But that's just learning. You just learn.
Yeah.
You can't let them go. If you give them one warning and they do anything like that again, I don't even talk to them. Why should I have them shout at me? I
Yeah,
just
no.
blacklist them.
That's the other reason I like Sun. He's one of the few people old enough to remember BBSs besides me.
Yeah. I ran BBSs before many people that I play games with were even alive.
Were born? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a claim to fame. It's just I'm old.
Yeah.
Well, I'd not really done adminning sort of before this, so I basically wanted to I wanted to. I think I had like my own server with some friends, and I always had this thing where everybody always wanted to quit Conan before I was ready to. And I always felt like I never got to play it all the way through. And even when we had a server that was just me and my friends, they all stopped before I was ready. And then it was like, it's no fun playing on your own in a server. I'm not, even if I'm sort of playing on my own as in my own tribe, I like having other people on the server. It feels good. So,
yep.
Gee, I wonder what that's like.
Oh.
I'm the only one running on Ark right now. My grandkids requested Ark, and they've just never been on. I'm playing right to the end game on it.
Man, after we set up the island just for them.
Yep, they've never been on.
They've never been on.
That's okay. They will come on, but the thing is for me, I don't care, right? I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm having fun. And if they don't join when I'm finished, ascending, then I'm going to shut down the servers, and we'll probably go back to 7 days.
Yeah,
So,
everyone. Ark had a bit of a revival recently because it was when we first put Fjorda on. We only had Fjorda, and we put a lot of work into it. We sorry, hang on, something going on with Conan. So we sort of like we went over the top with it, as in we put like a floating island in there, which basically has boss terminals that spawn bosses that you can fight at like higher level. So basically, like you can spawn in like a level 100 brood mother or stuff like that, and she drops like special. They're called arc bars. They're from like a mod that we've got. They can use the arc bars to buy things in the marketplace that we've got, and so we kind of went over the top with it because we only had one server, and then we sort of added to the cluster, and then it's like we haven't done that same amount of TLC on the other ones. We've sort of just put them up, and they're sort of, they've still got all the settings. It's just they've not got that level of, we went in and put Reapers into the map. We went over the top with like spawners and stuff like that. So, like we went in and edited all the iron eyes for the drops and things like that as well to kind of like boost them and make sure we've got the right saddles in there. And there's like, I don't know what mods you're running, but there's a one that introduces like different dinos and stuff.
Yep.
So we've got like the
mod.
It's called slip my mind. Hang on.
Now, when you said hang on and you were looking at your server, are you like Sun where you stare at the actual like the matrix and you see the server spitting out code and telling you things and you're reading it, or are you looking at something else?
I'm looking at something else right now because I'm restarting Conan as we're speaking. So Conan's on one monitor on the Daddy, and
that's what I'm saying.
Do
you like watch the code for it, or?
Yeah, I mean I know where the the mods are on there.
Just curious.
So you're talking about rare sightings, I imagine.
It's Arc Editions. It's called.
No, I didn't run Arc Editions on this one.
It's a really well done mod. Like the dinos in there are like absolutely fantastic. The skins on them, the animations, like the mod has gone above and beyond creating the dinos. And he basically has added a boss into the world, which we turned it into. They can only spawn it at this spawner on Fjorda, because normally you can spawn it out in the world, and it does that much damage that it would, if somebody lured it to somebody's base, or because what you're meant to do is kill an acro, and then you get the glands from the acro, and then you basically have so many of them, and then you can summon the boss, and you can summon them wherever you are. So you could literally stand in the middle of someone's base and summon an acro, which I think is a bit bad planning on their part, but okay. Yeah, so we basically blocked that and sort of made it so they can only spawn it in this sort of arena that we've created, basically. But and we had like an event map as well for Ark, where me and Fish did like this massive sort of like an assault course, basically, where there was like, I think Alaska's got a video of it somewhere. If I find it, I'll link it to you. But yeah, it was a big thing that we did. We were quite excited about it. But yeah, we had quite a lot of people playing on the one server, and then when we kind of introduced the cluster, it sort of quietened down a bit because some people moved off the map, and then people sort of like they kind of move in stages. They kind of we can have like 20 people playing on Conan. Right now, I think we've probably got about 4 because people just have moved to the next game, and it's how it goes, isn't it? People sort of.
Yeah, in our opinion, Conan wrecked themselves, but that's.
Yeah. I mean, I dread the updates now. Honestly, like I can't get that. I used to get really, I don't know, I can't get that excited about it because I'm just like, what are you going to break now? What's not gonna work?
Yep.
And what's going to cause me issues where I've got to fix something or mess around with something.
Well, and
I've been really liking
the
7 days.
Fruit flies, so there's that.
7 days has been super solid. Plus, I like the fact that you can say we're going to be running beta, whichever number you want, and they don't upgrade it underneath you, right? You could just say, hey, we're going to run this particular beta until the end of time.
Yeah,
we can stick
and
to
I
whatever
like
version
that.
we want. We're not forced to be like, oh, they changed it and we have to follow suit. Yeah, that's
and all our mods don't work, and this was broken, and that's broken, and then by that time, people quit playing.
Well, and plus, Espen Jensen making Age of Calamitous is great, but it seems like his is the only really good total conversion. There are other good mods, but the others don't feel as much of a complete total conversion for Conan. Whereas for 7 days, just off the top of my head, Undead Legacy, Darkness Fall, like there's a lot of really good total conversion mods. And then there's still the independent people doing like, oh, well, I want a different stack size. I want a different this. I want a different that. I want the auto crossbow reload. So it just seems like the modding community, even though Conan's been around for 7 days, is more complete, more willing to work together, make sure they're supporting each other. That, and also something Sun or Alaska told me yesterday, because he said he talks to Espen regularly, is that the limit for Conan for doing a mod is X number of gigs or megs or whatever for the mod. And Espen said, whatever the limit's at, he's there. Like, so he's having trouble adding more features to Age of Calamitous. He's at the point where he's having to
take stuff away,
scale this down, or alter this, or change this, so he can get more space to add other things in.
Yeah, so that's interesting because like they've changed a ton of stuff recently, and I was just like, why have you changed that? Like it was fine as it was. Like like he's changed like sort of like the pictures of certain things, and it was just like, I wonder if that's all basically to compress it better.
That's your answer. It's because the stupid Funcom won't give them more, space for their mods, so they have to, because Espen is like Age of Calamitous is phenomenal. I love it. Like I really wish we could just give this human money and he could make a game, right? Because I think that'd be way better than playing Conan. But
they're working on a game, but I don't feel like it's.
And I have no idea when it's going to come out.
No, it's like, because the problem is that they had a mod that was in a perfect condition that was, they were adding updates to it, but it was stable because Funcom weren't updating constantly because they didn't have to. But then obviously with this new system, it's like so they had then tons of time to basically go off and work on their own mod, which they were doing. But now it's like they have to stop every. And fair enough, it's not as
because Funcom broke it. And Funcom just has this endless history. Like Funcom is back as bad as Tencent. They have this endless history of breaking things or being terrible. Like I've been playing Funcom's game forever, and I shouldn't, but I do because I, like every other member of my species, also have the attention span of a fruit fly. I'm like, ooh, shiny! Oh, damn, I shouldn't have done that. And yeah, I regret it later because I'm no better than anybody else, Oh, God. Like
But the number of games that we like to play aren't that big, though.
True. And the older I get, the smaller the number gets. Well, and it's also because as we age, we find these gems like 7 days. Good luck getting me to play any other zombie game. like after 7 days, you're gonna have to be so good. Like I've tried a bunch, every
Yep.
one of them's been refunded. Just no, like a space game. I try them, I try them all. They all get
Oh, I hate
refunded.
space games. I'm
Um,
not a fan of space games. Fish likes like Dual Universe, and
yeah, Duel is garbage. I hate that
I can't
game.
stand that kind of
I
stuff. But
even survival
Alaska
games.
was
I compare them all to Ark, and I don't like all the things that Ark did, but from a purely mathematical point of view, it's a success, right? I got 14 something thousand hours. Okay, I can't. Do I really have an argument to say it's bad? Clearly, I got my money's worth, you know? Like, factually, that's a good game, regardless of any complaints I have. And did they do bad things? Sure, absolutely. And I'm not saying it's a great company or anything else, but good game, good company are two separate arguments, and we have to realize that. And a lot of humans, like, we get wrapped up and we're like, well, I don't like this narrow aspect. I'm going to choose to hate the whole thing. And that, it's a very human thing to do, but it's not a very factually accurate thing to do. And we really should try to be better. And I try, but again, I'm human. I make just a ton of mistakes. We all do, Like, I'm
yeah.
not perfect. I'm
That's
flawed.
So, do you guys ever run Subsistence or Scum?
we haven't. No, we've not.
Okay.
We haven't really run any PvP games. I mean, the closest we've come. We
Neither one of them need to be PvP. I run them as PvE.
no, really. How
Yeah.
does that even work? Like, because I mean, isn't the content PvP?
No.
Really?
No, it's entirely up to you how you want to run it.
Yeah, if you set a
But
server,
what?
you choose to just turn PvP off.
No, I understand that. But what I mean is, what's the content to do then in Scum?
Survival. Just
Yeah,
like all
Scum
the other
is
games,
It's just like a
survival.
normal survival.
Yep.
Scum and Subsistence. They're small games. Like they're not from big companies. Subsistence, for instance, was written by one guy in his garage, literally. Now I think there's 12 or 15 guys, but survive against the world. And if there's multiple people on there, you really do want to work together.
But so like with Scum, what I mean is like I didn't think there was any sort of NPCs in there.
Oh, there are.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They
interesting.
will
Okay.
kill you. God,
Right.
they will
Oh,
kill
yeah.
you. For example, I
it's a
think the
hard
game is brilliant and I love it. However, I can't play it because it has a very persnickety, and I'm not even going to say flawed. I'm going to say persnickety and not disabled friendly medical system. Like I understood what they were going for. I understood their concept and I agreed with how it wanted me to fix my injury. However, I could not physically I did admittedly have the shakes pretty bad that day. I could not click the buttons I had to put the bandage on the actual injury because it'll give you like this list of, well, this is your injury here, this is this one, this one's bleeding. Okay, so I need to treat that specific one. And I kept hitting the wrong injury, so I wasn't hitting the right one. So it was a great game. I physically couldn't play it. But no, there were NPCs and like I was getting shot by a mech and there were actual like humanoid NPCs and there were
Oh.
no other players where I was. It was just NPCs. So yeah, there's totally a survival game like Ark style, and it's like playing MOE. Are there PvP servers? Sure, but are there PvE servers as well? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only ever run PvE. I never run a PvP server.
I mean,
And
I'm
that's
not
just personal
massively.
preference.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to a PvP game. My issue is that I feel like the people that it brings in are not exactly the kind of people that you would want
That's
on.
why I refuse to run a
It's in,
PvP.
Yeah, neither of us
People
do
that
Yeah.
like to
PvP.
play it are
Right.
not the people I want to spend time with.
Yeah, neither
Yeah.
of us like the humans, so neither of us do PvP.
Like when I want
Because
PvP, I play Counter Strike. I go out, I got a whole pile of guys I know, and doesn't matter if we're together or against each other. We have a hoot because it's like 2 minutes and you're back doing it again.
Yeah,
You know,
see,
Counter
that's
Strike's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, that's my kind of PvP. Like, I don't play Counter Strike. I have played it, but like I play Smite and I play like Dead by Daylight, or so it's like short term PvP where I'm not losing anything apart from like levels or something. You know, I play Apex Legends, things like that. So
Worst
it's like
case, you lose a little bit of bragging rights. You know. Like,
Yeah, the last PvP I did was Warframe, where it was just a little like 5-on-5, and it was a real quick, and you didn't actually like you lost your bet, and that was it. And it was no like serious consequence, and it was just a fun thing, and you were like, ah, and it wasn't even necessarily you getting kills against the other players. It was two teams would go into arena, but there's NPCs in the arena shooting both teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've seen both teams wasted.
Yeah, like and exactly the NPCs in the teams in the arena will kill. They're way harder than so. Like sometimes you go in and yeah, both teams are just dead, and you're like, well, that was fun. We both got destroyed.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the PvP I played where I was like, oh, look, we both lost. Well, that's factual to real war, I suppose.
Yeah. Anyways, it's lots of options out there. I will be running a subsistence server here probably in a while. Once I'm done Arc, I'll let Fides know, and if you guys are at all interested, you can join in. But it'll be a PvP subsistence, a PvE subsistence.
Yeah, PvE.
So if you guys don't run, like I'm not interested in competing with anybody. So as I said, I'm only running Arc because my grandkids wanted to play. I set it up for them. You know, we'll see if they join or not. Myths for Fides, and I'm sitting here learning Python.
Well, why not? That's it's always good to do. Oh God, what's going on over there? I think is it normally Tuesdays Steam updates?
No
I
impact,
honestly don't know.
idea.
Takes me 2 seconds to find out.
Apparently, everyone's having problems.
I don't do much Steam lately. The only Steam I do currently is Brotato.
Steam's scheduled maintenance is more or less 7 p.m. EST on Tuesday.
Yeah, I thought. Is that about right time for you? I don't know what time.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? No, it's 7 p.m. Actually, yes, right about now.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm Mountain Time, so that's 3 hours. Oh yeah, it's 4:30 here, so yeah, about 7. Yeah, it's about right time.
Yeah, so it could be
I don't know what
Steam.
time it is. So sorry. I could check, I guess. Wait, what? I
No,
do not
that's fine.
disturb on? How do I have do not disturb on? I didn't turn that on.
Yeah. Anyways.
I don't understand
Yeah.
computers.
Oh, okay. I think I just need to go and deal with some Conan stuff.
Go have fun.
Have fun with that.
Pleasure meeting
Wait,
you.
shouldn't you be asleep?
Weren't
you going to sleep like an hour ago?
No, I mean I wouldn't be going to sleep. I
work.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm going to leave you guys to argue about that. Good night.
Good night. Yeah, no, I probably should head off. But yeah, I need to sort this problem and then I can go to bed, I guess. So
I mean, I'm just trying to help you be a responsible adult and, go to work tomorrow because isn't there like a job that pays you that should be the, I don't know, focus?
Which is always nice, yeah.
I'm retired. I don't care. You do you, but you're not my kid. You're fine. Anything you want to do, you're good.
But lucky for me, I work from home, so it's not actually. I can sometimes get up a bit late.
Honestly, I doubt you're as old as my daughter, who is our youngest. But
I don't know.
Nicole is 33.
I'm older than 33.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't sound it. Hey, it's a compliment. It's not intended as an insult at all.
No, I'm 40.
Oh, okay. You're still young. You're just, not super young.
Yeah, I'm of that weird generation where what is it? I was watching something the other day and it was saying like like your whole like millennials, boomers, Gen Z, all that kind of stuff. and it was saying how like mine is the generation where you either look way older than your age or way younger than your age, and act the same as well. It's like so your parents' generation, like they sort of grew up and they were like proper like adults, and like my generation apparently grew up and we're just big kids. And I was like, yeah, that's probably right, isn't it? I feel like I'm still a bit of a child when it comes to some things.
According to my wife, I look far younger than I should, and it drives her up the wall because we went to the doctor, and I was in there and I just shaved. And when I was in Iraq, I got a bunch of chemical burns, so my skin will peel off, but the side effect is it looks like I just had a chemical peel, right? So I'm constantly looking like I just had a facelift. So I always look way younger
You're
than
way
I should.
younger.
So we went to the doctor, and my wife came in with me, and they're like, "Sir, your mom has to wait outside." And I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a bad. Oh, Jesus." I was like, "That's my wife." And oh, my wife just, oh, she lost her
Oh,
shit. Like it was a
I
bad day. And I was
oh,
like,
that's
look at your
terrible.
chart and see how old I am. And then do you really think this woman's like, do you know how old my mother would have to be? Like, does she look 70 to you? Like, seriously? I'm just spitballing here. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh
Holy
dear.
good God. It was a bad day. Like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
you were just like, right, I'm just staying completely quiet. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah. So my wife gives me crap all the time. She's like, "You look like a baby." I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, darling. Like, I'm sorry. I look super young." Because I pass for so much younger than I am.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I guess. I don't know.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like I said,
Well, and
most
I can
people
pass
don't
for
believe.
old too. If I don't shave, all my facial hair is white. So then
So if you grow your beard in,
I look,
then you can
yeah,
age
then
yourself.
I look like I'm 80
Mm.
because I keep my head shaved and my face shaved, and then I look like I'm 20, and then I let my beard and my hair grow out, and it's like, oh, you're 80, and I'm like, good God, do I not have a nice normal middle ground? So I also never look anything like my age. I'm either, oh, you're gonna die tomorrow, or are you still in college? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, or wow, wow. And it drives my wife up the wall. She's like, I
I
look
think
like I married my father or I'm robbing the cradle. This is ridiculous. And I was like, sorry, darling, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, this is
she's
so
got a toy
unfair.
boy. It's fine.
Right? And I'm like, well, just tell everybody you're so hot and amazing that every guy wants you. And she's like, Steven, I'm not going to tell them that. I was like, come on, darling. I think you're
She needs
super
to
hot.
just tell her to go with it. Go with it.
Right?
Live her best life.
Well, my wife is amazing. She still acts like a kid. So it was like her 50, 53rd, 54th birthday. I don't remember. I'm bad with time and dates and all that, but it was one of her 50th birthday, 50 something birthdays. And she's like, I'm not going to grow up until I feel like it. I was like, okay, what do you want? And so she got a cake, and our grandson was there, and she's like, hey, what's that? Here, help Nanny blow out the candles. And so he leads in to blow out the candles, and she's like, huh. And he pulls out all the candles, and she's like, wait, is that wax? Look, tell me what that is. I don't have my glasses on. And he leans in, and she pushes his face into the cake, and I was like, oh, yep, you're still 12, darling. And she's like, I know. And then she's like, that looks good. Was that good? And he's like, yeah, Natty, it was delicious. And then she puts her own face in the cake and just eats it with no hands. And I was like, that is
That's
my
great
wife.
though. That sounds
It
so
is.
fun. Do you know
That's
what I mean?
how
You have
you
to be
do
like
it,
that.
And that's why, like, you're as old as
Who
you
says
feel. And
what?
she does not feel
Exactly.
old. And everybody's like,
Exactly.
you talk about her all the time. I was like, she's the single greatest female in the history of our species. Of course I talk about her all the time. Like, are you
Oh, that's so
kidding me?
sweet.
She is. I
That's
mean,
so
she's
sweet.
amazing. I did. I married the single greatest female in the history of our species. So she is my favorite thing of all time to talk about. She's amazing. And she
Oh,
just does such great things and she's so cool and she's wonderful.
that's so sweet. That's really nice. You need to go and if she's around right now, you need to go and tell her that.
I tell her all the time.
I'm sure you do.
I
but...
set up like when I retired, I told her I don't want a phone anymore, and she's like, okay, fine. And I set up Discord on her phone just so I can talk to her. And so anytime she drives somewhere, she calls me, and you'll see me like if I'm streaming, I instantly like I was streaming the other day. I was like, okay, gotta go, bye, click, and I ended the stream. And I came back later and I was like, okay, so the reason I ended the stream so abruptly, my wife called, and I will always drop all of you like a hot rock anytime she calls. She is the center of my universe, and none of you are as important as her. So if she ever calls for anything, you all stop existing. I talk to her, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you whatever it was. But yeah, all of you just cease existing the second she wants to talk to me. So yeah,
Well, that's how it should. That's how it should be.
it
That's how it
is.
should be.
Well, and
Family first.
the reason she was calling was she had gone grocery shopping for me a couple days prior and they didn't have the pepperoni I had asked for. They didn't have pepperoni. And so she had sent somebody 2 hours away and they had found pepperoni. And she's like, hey, I got you pepperoni. And that's what she was calling. Was, hey, you have
Oh.
groceries, come get them. And so yeah, like she's also super sweet to me. It's not a
Yeah,
one-way
because
street.
like.
We've been together forever, and she's just the greatest woman. I mean, she threw her shoulder out pushing my wheelchair. She's amazing. Because my wife is like, she's nothing like me. She is so tiny. She's 5'2", and could maybe break 100 pounds if you filled her pockets full of rocks. Okay.
Oh.
And I am the smallest I've ever been because I can't live in the gym anymore. And I broke my spine, so I'm a lot shorter than I used to be, and
Oh,
everything else.
good God. Okay.
It's no big deal. Everybody has something, right? It's not a big deal. And the cancer, I lost a lot of weight and everything else. But so now I am down to 6'8". So I've shrunk a lot, so I'm very short,
Hey.
and I am down to 280 pounds because I've lost so much weight, right? Like I can't live in the gym.
Yeah.
But
Well, have you got a
I'm
double thumbs up health? Like, is everything
oh yeah,
good?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm better than I should be. Like for my
Yeah,
age,
that's
I'm
good.
still doing stellar. For as
Yeah.
messed up as I am, I'm doing great. Like I'm a Marine, right? How bad can we still be? I'm still here. Well, I'm not dead. It
Yeah.
could be worse.
Yeah. I'm
But at the
surprised
peak,
like all your
I mean,
arms and legs haven't fallen off, from just, all the crazy shit you probably had to do.
yeah. But I mean, I tell people don't go to war. It's bad for your health. I got blown up. I mean, I could be dead. I'm still here.
That's it.
But yeah,
There's your silver lining.
I was 6'11" and 360
Holy
pounds at
crap.
one point.
Are your kids tall, or did they take after your wife?
They're pretty tall. They're between us, so they're all much taller than her. But they're not as giant as Dad. Our son
Yeah.
is like 6'2", so very tall, but not a giant. Our daughter is 5'10", which for a female is pretty tall.
Yeah, that is tall.
So again, yeah,
5'10".
they're tall.
Yeah,
They're
way
just
taller than
not,
average.
giants like Dad. But I tell it, they're like, you're tall. I was like, well, I wasn't gonna be short. My mother's 6 feet tall.
Wow.
My dad is 6'4". I wasn't gonna come out short.
No.
My brother was
Yeah.
the short one, and he's 6'5".
He's the short one. Isn't that funny? Jeez.
Yeah.
Whereas there's me and my mum, but she's like, I took after my mum. My mum's 5'2", So I'm like, I think I got a little bit high off my dad. So I'm like 5'4", I think.
Yeah.
but yeah, I think my dad was 5'10", maybe. No, probably a little bit taller than that. But yeah, not very tall. So
Exactly. So
yeah.
I'm 6'8", and my wife is the size of your mother.
Jeez.
Yeah. We are very
Gosh,
we're
she had a
very
crick in her
different
neck,
people.
talk like shouting up to you.
We're very, very different people. And I play video games and I'm a geek. She's outdoor, like she trains horses, and like I met her because the military is like, you're very broken. You need to hire somebody to take care of you. And she was at the time working at like a senior center. She was their activities director, but she had done end of life care and all that. So she was very familiar with, hey, this person has 6 months to live. They have terminal cancer, and my wife would move in and take care of them until they died. So she was very comfortable with that. She was very good at it. She's licensed and everything. And so she came and interviewed, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll hire you. And so she started taking care of me, and I apparently, like, she kept a journal as you do, and it was very unflattering. I didn't know what was going on. I was drugged out of my skull, and I was asking her to marry me all the time, and she'd be like, "Not today, sweetie. Let's get you changed." And so she'd, put on my
Not
boots
today,
and all
sweetie.
that. Yeah, just like, patting my hand and stuff, and I was out of it. And it'd be like, changed Mr. Caldwell and washed him and put on new clothes, and he asked me to marry him, and we need to talk to his doctors about adjusting medication and blah blah blah, all that. Yeah, it was very unflattering. So, and I was like,
Quite
Jesus,
amusing.
why did you marry me? Like, because I read it, I was like, oh my God, darling, why did you say yes? She's like, well, eventually I figured you actually meant it. And I was like, yeah, I did, obviously. But yeah, she's been with me ever since.
Oh,
But she's like, she's so good. She always, like, she has a way of just, if she's around, I feel better. And she never made me feel bad, even when it was bad. Like, so because I have a spinal injury, sometimes my nerves do things that I don't want them to do. So I would sometimes, defecate without intending to. So we were out in Walmart,
yeah.
and I pooped my pants. And she's like, "It's no big deal. It happens. Let's just get you home and get you changed." So, gets me in the vehicle and starts driving me home. And I don't know why, a train was coming, and we were waiting for the train. I'm sitting there, and we have the windows down, and I scream out the window. I was like, "I just bleeped my pants!" And my wife was laughing so hard, she almost killed us on the way home because she couldn't see through the tears to drive because she was laughing. And I was like, "Oh, this woman's a keeper." Like,
She's like, yeah, like she didn't just like hide her face. She's just
no,
like,
she was just laughing, and I was like,
she's just laughing along
that's a
with it.
keeper. Like, that's love, Like, that is
Oh,
love, and we've been together ever, like, the whole time. And she's been there through, like, me getting out, and us, like, we've moved a ton of times and gone everywhere, and she's like, "I want to be closer to kids." I was like, "Okay." And now, like, I'll go anywhere she wants. I don't care. I don't want anything anymore. Like, all I wanted was her, and I got it. So now, like, whatever you want to go. She's like, "Hey, do you care if we live?" I'm like, "No, we go there.
like, nope,
Or move
let's
there."
just
And
go
it's
there.
like, wherever you want to go. I don't care. I've been everywhere. Like, I'm good. Let's go. Let's go live wherever. Like, I'm in, darling. Whatever you want to do. So that's what my life's been
Oh,
since. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, she's so amazing. She's phenomenal. Oh,
is that? Did I see fish online then?
I
I
don't
just
know. I see the little orange half moon that says he's kind of AFK.
I don't know. It's like I normally leave the VPN stuff to fish. Like, I mean, I can connect to the computer, so I remote desktop to our Daddy, but like beyond that type of stuff, like I don't really. I mean, I know enough what a VPN is, and I could definitely find out what it is. I'm not that sort of person that wouldn't just be able to just Google or watch a video to tell me exactly how to set all of this up, but then I'm like, I know Fish knows how to just do this because this is what he did for a job. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just let Fish deal with this
I've been
most of
using
the
it
time.
lately for entertainment purposes. So something I found out recently is all of these countries are different. Okay. So, Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming services. If
Mhm.
you're in country X, Y, or Z, your top 10 movies and television shows are going to be based on that country. If you
Mhm.
get a VPN and then you connect it to the States and then you log into Netflix, it's going to say, these are your top 10 movies, these are your top 10 television programs. Well, then if you turn everything off and then you VPN to Canada and then you connect to Netflix, it's going to have different movies and television programs. So I've been
Yeah,
bouncing
because
all over the world, seeing what's popular and comparing them and
seeing
being
what's
like, oh, okay. And some of them very similar, some of them wildly different, nothing in common. I was like, okay, because I haven't like steadily watched television since the 1980s, so I'm a little out of date. I'm fairly out of touch, and I'm retired now. I kind of fill the hours, so all right, I'll watch a bit. In fact, that's why I started streaming because my grandkids were playing Fortnite, and I was like, I don't understand, and I wanted to kind of connect with them. I wanted to be cool, grandpa, you know. And initially I was. My grandson and my granddaughter both love to sit on my lap and stare at my beard. They wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't grab it. They would just stare at grandpa's beard. They're like, this is the best thing ever.
oh,
And they would seriously, they just sit because I have a recliner, and so they would just sit on grandpa's lap and stare at his beard. And my daughter's like, "Oh, thank you, Dad, I can sleep." And she go over and she passed out on the couch, and I would just watch the
that's
kids.
funny.
And she thought it was the
And they're
best
just
thing
there
ever.
fascinated by the
Yeah, and
beard.
they just sit there, and then they'd get real yawny, and then they'd fall asleep on grandpa.
Oh,
And my wife walked in, and she'd be like, "What the hell is going on?" I was like, "I think everybody's taking a nap." And she's like, "Okay."
oh, but that's nice though. She's got having a bit of time to because like not everybody always has the family around and stuff. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's nice to have that time.
the grandkids probably spend, I don't know, 50% of their time with grandma and grandpa.
Oh,
Because,
that's really nice.
well, our daughter works. She runs. She's a medical researcher, so she has one of those like long hour jobs that's real
Yeah,
demanding, and she has to focus and pay attention or stuff could go bad. So we're like, dude, we'll watch it. We love our grandkids, and they like the ranch, like what kid doesn't want to come play with the horses and the cows, like they're
exactly.
they're
Yeah.
all about it. And my granddaughter is such a so oh my god, we're sitting there, we were doing some gardening, and my wife was doing a bunch of raised beds and stuff. And we look over, and my granddaughter is sitting on a pile of dirt, and my grandson is putting handfuls of dirt on her head. And we're like, is he being mean to her? And we're like, stop that. And he does, and she immediately starts bawling, and we're like, what? And we're
I got a
like,
minute.
what's going on? And he's like, she made me. And we're like, okay, go ahead. And he starts, and she immediately stops. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And she is such a tomboy. Like she's all about going outside and making mud pies and playing in the dirt. And so she couldn't reach her hands high enough to put the dirt on her own head. And so she
So she
made
wants
her
him to do
older
it.
brother put the dirt in her hair. And I was like, "Oh, your mother's gonna kill us. All right, cool. We'll give you a bath later, child."
You're like, we'll deal with this later. Just
Yeah,
as
it's
long as
just
you're having
all
fun. But
right.
like,
Yeah, like it's dirt. It's not gonna kill her. Like sure, she
no,
was, I don't
exactly.
know, 2 or something. We're like, it's fine if you want to play in the dirt. I mean, could be worse. You're not hitting
That
each
is
other. I
so
mean,
funny.
so yeah, it was. They're such odd
Oh,
kids. Oh, but why
that's
not? They're growing up on a ranch. They're not attached to a cell phone. It could definitely be worse.
exactly.
You
Oh, yeah,
know?
100%. It could be. 100% it could be. It's like there's tons of good things about technology, and then there's tons of bad stuff. And I think like it's quite rough kids growing up right now. There's a lot of stuff that they've got to go through that we didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like teenagers now with, you're just an absolute idiot, and when you're a teenager, and there was no proof of that because nobody had it on film, nobody was showing it around your school. My cousin's having problems with his daughter right now because they don't know for sure, but they think like there might be something to do with the phone. She's got a phone, and they think maybe somebody's been bullying her, or someone said something, or maybe something with her friend group, and something's going on with the phone. And like they're on it with the phone. They kind of they have like a good like they only get she only gets so long on it and stuff like that. But you can't control what kids kind of say or do on the internet, and it's easy for us to say, oh, you can just switch it off, but they're sort of like, that is their social group, and that is their world at that point. It's kind of turning it off is like social suicide for them, and it's that you sort of you forget how focused you get as a kid when something like that, a problem that we could look at with our adult brains and sort of be like, we'll just step away from it. But for them, it's like they don't see a way out of that. And yeah, like I don't envy kids today for the stuff they've kind of got to go through, and with it's just being so public, and with the internet sort of recording absolutely everything they do.
My grandson is 5.
Kind of rough.
And he rides a public school bus. I imagine my grandson has already seen a naked female. Some kid had a phone and showed it to her.
Yeah, probably.
I was a boy, the first naked, and it was probably a live video, so effectively an actual live female form, right? Or as close without touching one in 3D. When I was a boy, the first female I saw was a group of us. We were teenagers. We went into town, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We went into a abandoned lot on the side of the road underneath a wood pile, and we all gathered around, and we saw a, I don't know, multi-year-old Playboy that one of the group had stolen from his father. That is not the same experience that kids are having now, and definitely not the same age range. Like, that is a big 8-something year difference. That's a big difference, like more than twice the time. Now, I'm not saying at 13 I knew everything that was going on, okay? I'm not saying I was prepared for sex or anything else, but I am saying I definitely had a better handle on it than a 5-year-old.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary because you don't feel like that is the kind of thing that you should have to speak to them about.
No.
But at the same time, like you said, they could be seeing that, and it has like it has like a really adverse effect on them. Like, it was my other cousin. He's got like he's just turned 3 actually, but they had a little party for him, and the whole family was around there, and they were talking about he's got like Kim, his mother, her friend, has got a little boy who's around about the same age as Theo, and she said that the kid all of a sudden has become sort of very violent, and she's just a bit concerned because it's like, where is he sort of getting that from? Like, I know kids can just act out and stuff, but he's been very specific in what he's doing, and just really, really, really aggressive for no reason. And it's like, kids don't just all of a sudden get like that. There's something there behind that he's been exposed to something maybe, or I don't know. It's just he just seems so young to be doing that and being that aggressive. And is he seeing something somewhere? And it's just like kids pick on stuff really, really easily. So it's kind of scary to think how much access they have.
MMA video or like what's
going
on?
I mean, I don't know.
And you're like, what the hell happened to my child? And none of us know. And it's like, wow, this isn't terrifying or anything.
Yeah, kind of scary. It is kind of scary, but I need to go because it is 5 to 12. So
You should have left hours ago. Sorry, I'm retired. I'll never shut up. I clearly love the sound of my own voice. Oh good
it's
God.
nice.
I am
It's good talking to you guys
45
tonight.
minutes over my stream. I should have ended my stream 45 minutes ago too. My bad. Whoops. Good God. I clearly haven't been paying attention.
Easy enough to do.
Oh God.
All right. Well, I will go. But
You
it's
sleep
been nice
well.
to talk to you. Yeah, nice to talk to you too tonight. I'll catch you later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, stream. We helped people accomplish stuff, right? We got some people hooked up with their admin stuff. We chatted about random things. I mean, that was all over the place. You see the taming, it worked. We rode up, we hopped off, we interacted with it. I can't figure out how to take my minion off, so I got to figure that out. We gathered some stuff, we upgraded our thing, we smelted some stuff, we got a level. We discovered the copper mine close to us, so that's nice. We discovered the salt mine. We got all our stuff over here. We've accomplished some stuff, folks. I'm sorry about the quality. I really did space out a couple of times. I was just talking to somebody. So I shared some stuff about me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I don't know. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good stream somehow. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, folks.